Alright, so I know this is a long time coming, but I've had a lot of this information for quite a while now. I'm going to go over iPhone 6 Plus Touch IC disease in detail. And this is probably the biggest problem out of all iPhones right now, I suspect. Um, I don't even think charging problems compare to Touch IC disease. And I'm going to go over the points of failure that can cause Touch IC disease. I know a lot of you guys get a little frustrated because you've replaced Mason about 20 times, Cumulus about 40 times, and Touch still doesn't work, and you don't know why. Well, I don't think I've been able to not solve a Touch problem ever since I learned what causes Touch IC disease. And again, I spent quite a bit of time last October, November because I had a ton of warranty repairs, and it was driving me crazy. It was driving me crazy, so I had to figure it out. And I was pretty close to quitting doing Touch IC. I mean, this was a while ago, so I was pretty close to quitting doing Touch IC disease because I was like you guys. I was replacing Mason and Cumulus about 40 times each, and it sucked. Anyways, also, I just wanted to say that I don't care what anybody says. I am the one who came up with the M1 jumper. I don't care what you say. If you go back through all my old videos, I didn't announce it to the world, but I definitely experimented, and you can kind of see when my Touch IC videos dropped off. That's when I finally figured it out, and this was back in November, I think. But you can go back there and you take a look and find out who did the M1 jumper first. I'm only laughing because anyways, I did it. I am the one. I don't care what you say. All right. Now let's get to the schematics. All right. So I'm on the iPhone 6 Plus schematics right now. I'm on the touch page, page 26 out of 56, whatever schematics you have. It's pretty clear here which lines handle the touch on the iPhone 6 Plus. Okay, it's touch probe points. I think some people might think touch probe points might mean this is where you probe the points, whatever. But I think in this right here, where it says touch, it actually means this handles the touch. All right, so these are the 8 lines that handle touch on the iPhone 6 Plus. So these are the possible points of failure. Okay, these are 8 of the possible points of failure. There's also a few other possible points. Okay, but all right. So these 8, and then we can add on. I've never seen a PP1V8 grape. I don't think this deals with touch actually. I think this deals with this powers cumulus, obviously, but this I don't think. I think you'll have other problems if you don't have this PP1V8 grape line. So I don't think you'll just lose touch if you have a PP1V8 grape failure. Same with this PP1V8 line right here. You'll have other problems. That's my guess. Okay. However, these other 2 power lines up top here, the PN 5v7 Sage and then the PP 5v7 Sage, those deal with touch, both of those. So you want to make sure you have 5.7 volts and negative 5 point power negative 5v7, power positive 5v7. You want to make sure you have negative 5.7 volts and 5.7 volts with the screen on for those 2 lines. Okay, so if you don't have 5.7 volts, then that could also be a possible point of failure. And I haven't been able to confirm this, but PP5V1 grape VDDH should probably cause a loss of touch as well. But again, I've not been able to confirm because I've never had that failure before. Okay, so let's go back to these touch probe points right here, and what are the possible causes of failure with these touch points. Okay, let's see. let's go to ZXW maybe. Let me pause it real quick. Alright, I found it. So I created this very pretty picture here, which I created a while back. And these are basically all the pads that, am I recording? Yes. These are all the pads that deal with touch IC disease here, okay? I know it doesn't look like much, but I printed it out and I drew it up, and I'm going to show you guys on ZXW which pads they are. Oops. Yeah, that's no good over there. Okay, so I'll just do it over here. Let's see, 6 plus. Okay, so you guys know of all the, and I'll just kind of go like this a little bit because we will look at one of these pads up here. All right, so we all know of M1, right? This is, if you look at it, this is LCM to AP HIFA B sync. All right. Let's go over here. Okay, so LCM to AP HIFA B sync. That is M1. Okay, notice the correlation here. So it's in this touch list. Okay, we all know. Well, we don't all know, but L1 cumulus to stage boost clock enable is also a point of failure for touch IC disease. How do I know that? Because I lifted Mason, I removed the ball under L1, put Mason back, and touch did not work. And the other thing is we see oxidation under this L1 pad often. Okay, and my guess is that when you have no gray bars, you're either going to have one of two problems. You're going to have M1 completely gone, meaning it's completely severed from the via here, or L1 is oxidized. All right, we know that. Okay, now look at what L1 is connected to. L1 is also connected to L4. Okay, cumulus to sage boost clock. So this is another point, another pad of failure here. Okay, cumulus to sage boost clock enable. All right, now let's go back to the schematics here. Cumulus to sage boost clock enable. All right, look at that. Hey, that's two of the 8 right here. Okay, so let's go over quickly the other 6 touch points. Okay, so we are looking at cumulus to Mason VSTM out enable, or N right here. That's another one. And cumulus to, this is the P version. So this is P, so that's 4. But so these 2 touch points, yes. If you see rip pads or severed line or something like that, then you definitely want to check for continuity from here to the red point, from here to the red point. Okay, but I have never, ever, out of whatever 400, 500, 600 of these things that I've done, I've never seen. You know what? I can't say that. I have seen it once. That's because somebody ripped it up. But this is usually not a point of failure because there's rarely ever any oxidation with these 2 pads. All right, and as you can see, it's also connected on Mason. So these 2 points connect to Mason. You can check for continuity from this point to this point, this point to this point. If you get continuity, then that's not your problem, and it rarely ever is the problem. All right, so that's 4. So we've got 4 pads here, and then AP. Okay, so the other 4 points are under cumulus. Okay, and I'm just gonna say that cumulus is. I'm gonna say cumulus is never the problem. I mean, okay, maybe not never, but I'd say probably less than 2% of the time. I would say. Because for one, I've never ever seen oxidation under cumulus, and if the phone has never ever been worked on before and there's no water damage, then cumulus is generally not going to be the problem. All right, and again, I've replaced hundreds of these things since October, November, and I've only replaced Mason, and touch has been completely solved. All right, so we can just negate these other 4 lines here. Okay. Okay, so now we've touched on those 8 lines. All right, now we got 2 power lines here. Okay, so we have PP 5E7 Sage AVDDN. Okay, I know one of them is here. And so basically what you want to do is with the screen on, it's going to be kind of difficult because this is on the back of the logic board, and with the screen on you got to flip it and stuff like that. But what I normally do is just use the logic board, flip it over, and hook the screen up, put a battery, and start it up with my lightning cable. Okay, and the logic board's flipped over. That way you can measure the voltage. So the screen has to be connected and powered on in order for you to measure this voltage here. All right, I think that's true. I don't think you're gonna get a voltage with the screen off. You may though. So anyways, check 5.7. Make sure you get 5.7 volts here, and then I think the other one is here. Yep. So make sure you're also getting 5.7 volts here. All right. So if you look at it, there's other pads here that are involved in this, and again, I've never seen any of these pads oxidized or anything like that. And there are multiple other pads that connect to this 5.7 volt line here, so it's probably not going to be the pad. All right. Now for this one, there's one pad under here, so it's possible that if this pad were disconnected, then you would lose touch. All right, but again, I've never seen oxidation on this one pad. All right, so I think most importantly, you really just want to check to make sure that you're getting those voltages. Okay, and if you really want, you check for continuity from here to here once the chip is lifted. If you have continuity here, you're getting 5.7 volts there, you're good to go. All right. So let's go back to what on the digitizer connector can cause touch IC disease, or in quotes. All right, so you have M1 here, okay, which connects to this U2403 guy, which, from what I understand, it's a proximity sensor. It connects to the proximity sensor so that when the proximity sensor is on, it disables the touch. Or I'm sorry, when the proximity sensor triggers the screen to turn off, it also disables the touch. Okay, so this U2403 is also another possible point of failure. All right, if this pad is missing, then you are done. You will not get touch. Sorry. So you will not get touch. All right, so if all else fails with the first 8 lines and 2 5.7 volt lines, and then you want to check for a cold joint under this guy. And in order to do that, what you can do is, let's see, I think it's, what is it? Oh, sorry, touch, yeah. What am I missing here? Let's see. I know it's one of these. I'll find it sometime. I do think it's closer to. Hey. Oh, I'm sorry. It's on the LCD connector. There it is, right here. All right, so this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Sorry, it's the 10th pin. All right. So this is the connector. This is the connection pin, which goes through a filter, to this guy, which connects to under Mason. All right. So this is also, this one pin under on the LCD connector is also a possible point of failure. Okay, I don't know if there's anything on the digitizer connector that can lead to the loss of touch aside from it not being connected to the connector. All right, so you really just want to check for continuity and look for damage on the digitizer connector. And then, so let's go back to this pin right here. Okay, in order to test this pin right here, what you want to do is go into diode mode, and just you can touch one side to ground and the other side to this pin right here, and just look to see if it's not an open circuit. it's an open circuit, then you have a problem with either one of this filter here, or maybe this U2403 where it's not grounded. All right, I had one case of that where this ground pad was a cold joint, and oh man, it took me forever to figure that one out. But once I figured that out, then I reflowed this U2403, and I was good to go. All right. And then let's see. Let's go to PP5V1. And I don't know where that is. PP5V1. So PP5V1. Again, I've never seen any evidence of this, but we can just kind of go through it and just kind of rule it out. C8. C8. Let's see. C8 on cumulus. C8 right here. Okay, so you can check for 5.1 volts on these two with the screen connected and powered on. Okay, and again, you can check for continuity from this pad. All right, so that's how you do that. And I've also seen a few instances where this L2401, this inductor right here. I don't know what causes it, but it's damaged. So I've seen several instances, and basically, when this happens, okay, so when you have a failure with this inductor right here, what you're going to see is you're going to see a flickering. All right, it's going to look like touch IC disease, but it's the entire screen. The entire screen kind of flickers, and you don't know why, and it doesn't. It looks kind of like the gray flickering at the top of the screen, but it's the entire screen. It just flickers and just doesn't work. So if you ever see that, then what you want to do is look for damage on this thing, and you know what? It's easy enough to just replace it, so just replace it. So that's really about it. I mean, those are really your points of failure for touch IC disease right there. And I was going to do a video on this a while back, and I just kind of wanted, I don't know, I wanted to let it sit for a little while. I mean, I didn't, I don't know. It took me a while to figure this out, and again, I'm laughing. I'm laughing a little bit because I remember I just watched one of Jason from STS Telecom, one of his videos, and he talks about not being competitive, and I'm the exact opposite. I'm a very competitive guy, and it's I played poker back in the days too, so it's kind of like if you spot a tell, you don't tell someone about it. You just kind of let them keep doing it. I'm not knocking on anybody. I'm just saying that it took me forever to figure this out. Okay, it took me forever to figure out that hey, M1 is the problem and run a jumper. And I didn't know initially. If you look at my earlier videos, I started jumping M1. I started jumping these ground pads, and I started jumping just L1. I was doing L1 and M1. Well, I was doing M1, I was doing the ground pads, this corner and this corner right here, and then I let go of the ground corners, once I found out that the ground had nothing to do with it. And then I started jumping L1 and M1, and that was fine, but it was just a little bit harder and more time consuming to do. And then eventually I just stopped doing L1, just doing M1, and all is good. Okay, and that is that. So anyways, I laugh because I'm a very competitive guy, and this video probably should have come out maybe like 6 months ago. But I don't know. I didn't do it. I said in one of the Facebook groups that I was gonna write something up. I don't know. It was kind of like I was getting a little bit frustrated. Matter of fact, I kind of got into it on this Facebook group with a few people, and my biggest gripe was that new people. This group is called Intro to Microsoldering, and my biggest gripe was that new people were coming on here, and there were some people that were just kind of like did you look, you know, they would ask a question, very, very simple question, like how do you measure what a hot air or something like that, and they'd be like, you know, why don't you watch some YouTube videos, and why don't you do this, and why don't you do that, and you know, in my opinion, you know, the point of these groups is to help people. You know, I don't care how new they are. You know, that's why I do a lot of this actually, because I want to learn. Well, one is learn, and two is to help other people learn. You know, and so I was getting a little frustrated because on these Facebook groups, you know, people that have been there for a while, not everybody. There's a lot of helpful people on there, a lot of helpful people, you know, but there was just a handful of people that were just really just kind of like, oh, did you, you know, something about teaching someone how to fish versus you know, giving them fish and crap like that. I get that kind of just, I don't know, just I got a little frustrated, and I think the moderator was about to kick me out of one of these groups, you know, and you know, I was really close to just quitting anyways, but I'm like, oh man, there's a lot of smart people on there, and I didn't want to isolate myself, um, and you know, I'm still learning a lot from these groups, so it's not like I want to get out. But anyways, what else is there? That's really about it. That's really about it. So just I'm gonna post this sucker on YouTube. Long time coming, probably a little 6 months too late. But here are your possible problems here. And that's pretty much it, really. You know, that'll probably solve about 98% of your touch problems there. You know, and number one is don't ever replace cumulus unless you absolutely have to. And M1, L1, double check those two pads. Those are the two most common causes. M1 probably about 90%, probably 90% plus of touch IC disease. You know, but when all else fails, there's a few other things that you need to check in order to make sure that you've covered all your bases in terms of touch. And so that's about it, really. I don't think there's anything else. Hopefully this opens a discussion, and yeah, so anyways, that's it. All right, thanks for watching. And now a word from our sponsor. Thanks for watching our video. I just wanted to kind of go over two courses that we have available on udemy.com right now. If you go to microsoldering.com, click on learn, and then getting started, you'll see that we have two courses available. The first one is iPhone logic board repair, the basics, and in this course we go over the basic building blocks of logic board, to the tools and equipment necessary to the basic fault finding and troubleshooting. This course is mainly for people looking to get started in microsoldering. It goes over all the components and basic troubleshooting tips and stuff like that. So you can just go to the website and click on the link, and it'll bring you to the Udemy page to buy the course. And the second course goes over, which I wrote part of. It goes over how to troubleshoot problems, and in this course we go over the three most common iPhone repair problems, which is no backlight, touch IC disease, and charging problems. And we go over in detail exactly how to troubleshoot and fix these things. So if interested, please visit the website microsoldering.com, and you can get some more information from there. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.